Okay, so last night we had I consider I just think the good thing about teaching something, it kind of like stays in your mind afterwards. The best way to learn something is actually to teach it. I many years ago, I think I told the story, but it's Kedai. When I was in law school, my first summer, I was actually taking a smicha by Belsky, that's all we saw Belsky, and I'd started in Lakewood, and I took because of Lakewood, but then I went to law school, so I wanted to finish it with Belsky, so I took a whole very comprehensive smicha. I had to get something on my resume, so I decided to work like 3 to 4 weeks for this really a top attorney who had been a Baal Tshuva, and he had a lot of interesting stories. And maybe just for my resume, I worked like 2-3 hours a day. And that's the day I learned. And I had this great working for this top attorney. At one point, he was the head of one of the major law firms, family law division. Then went to tort law. But everybody told me he used to teach for Echad in Philadelphia, which I was one of the head teachers for them, my third year of law school. But he told me that he has a thing that everything he learns, he teaches. It was an amazing thing. I was a very bright guy, but he never learned in yeshiva. He had everything he learned to teach. And really, it's just as an idea. Whenever you have a good idea, it's good to share it. When you share an idea, it makes you remember it, and you get more importantly, or as importantly, you get the schus of inspiring others and teaching others. I know somebody, whenever they have a shiur they like, they go ahead and share with other person. It's just an idea. Something inspires you. It's a good opportunity to share with others. In general, we're all supposed to be lomid amanas lamed. We're supposed to be learning lasos to do, to take into actions, but also teachers. We say in Birchas HaTorah, it's an amazing thing. We say in Birchas HaTorah, Baruch, 1 second. We should know it. We should be studying your Torah, and we should be malamdin in a certain. We should be teachers of. We should teach Torah as well. So not we should be Isaac with Torah. We should be people who teach Torah. The best way to teach Torah is to take something and share it. And so, like for myself, just today I had what to daven for others and for myself and everything else. And really, the lesson I mentioned last night, hopefully we davened afterwards, and hopefully through today, we all, I'm sure, had needs today that we need to daven for. Hopefully we remind ourselves that if we're going to do something, if we're in a challenging circumstance, if we need to get somewhere, I'm happy to see Rabbi Larry Cosden's on this call. But I had a message, like when I walked in here, I saw anything beeping. Laser Cosden had a hard time getting on. Wasn't sure he was going to make it today because his computer. I had to run back to get my little recorder over here. There's so many things. So I would suggest not only should we apply the things we do, but if a person hears something, they should be a teacher. We're all teachers. Somebody sent me today. There was apparently a Hillel. Hillel had a Facebook survey about would you marry a non-Jew, and it didn't look too good. These are Hillel. These are the Hillel L'choira from the college kids, the more connected or the most connected. And they probably have a certain percent of these kids that are, modern Orthodox going to the Hillels. And yet the didn't look too good, the statistics. And this person who doesn't live in San Jose, doesn't live in the Bay Area, but is close to me, goes to school in Southern California, and asked me what should he do? Like he's a Baal Tshuva, a very bright young man. What should he do in order to fix the situation? So I said, we have to daven for our brothers and sisters. We also have to teach. We all need to teach. And the more we spread it, we're spreading wealth. But also, we acquire it also. So if you teach others, it doesn't. There are enough students all around us. It could be our spouse, could be our children, relatives, friends. Some of you ladies I see usually go on the call, go for walks with Leah Hartman. So Leah, I don't know if Mrs. Hartman is, maybe she's listening. Call Mrs. Hartman. Say, I heard a great idea. Share an idea. She's a great listener. Right? She'll call somebody else that is not, and share it. It's important because not only we're talking about applying it, but also teaching it is very important as well. And so we mentioned yesterday, really the supplications, the bakashas that we make. The main thing is to be cognizant and to recognize and to be aware that everything in life we have to turn to Hashem. This idea, this general principle, the great Echad Levine, who is the mashgiach of the Mir Yeshiva when they were in Lithuania and they escaped to first Kobe, Japan, and then Shanghai. And then he's mashgiach of the Mir in Brooklyn. They went to the Mir in Jerusalem, and eventually ended up with the Panovich Yeshiva at the end of his life. So he said as follows: "It's hatzara v'hatzuka. Every pain, every challenge, every difficulty, every reality is a emtsai ha'ma'or lehispalo. If you have a child, or a spouse, or a friend, or your own challenges, we all have challenges. There's nobody, the people you think, you had a front row seat for Rabbi. Everyone has a challenge. I have challenges. Everyone has challenges. Nobody is free from challenges and difficulties. So what are the challenges and difficulties supposed to do? It's supposed to allow you, to make you pray and want to pray, want to connect to Hashem. Tefilla, and that prayer is hakara shakol misham yisbarach. If you're in a challenge, it's not enough just to try to solve it yourself. Of course, we're obligated to be politically savvy if you're doing politics, to take the proper medical procedures or business ideas. If it's a family feud or family difficulty, to be very careful and delicate in dealing with family. But if you have a challenge, if you have a child, an in-law, a parent, a sibling, a spouse, a cousin that you're dealing with, or a boss, a manager, a neighbor, whatever it may be, every time we're challenged, every time we have a difficulty, that's a knock on our door from Hashem. Wake up, you're supposed to be davening. Right? Besides fixing, any time we're challenged, it's a message. We need to be davening more. It's an unbelievable thing. You see the imayas, all the imayas that we mentioned in Rosh Hashanah that were non-fertile, but they had problems having children. Chazal tell us all of them were because they had to be daven more. And had they not, now again, there are people, for whatever reason, like Zerah and Shemam, is not supposed to have children. They're supposed to try. You can't. But in the case of the imayas, every single one was that they're supposed to have been davening. The challenge, the reason that happened, is the world needed their tefillas. And I believe, now who are the imayas that we're talking about? Right? Sarah, who comes from Sarah? Yitzchak. Rivka, who comes from Rivka? Yaakov. Chana, right? Has to be. We have a Shmuel Hanavi who is compared to Moshe and Aaron. It's not that they had to pray. It's that these children needed those tefillas, right? Every prayer, right? Every prayer. No, nothing ever goes to waste. Someone just mentioned the other night. There's no tefillah. There's no prayer. If it doesn't affect you, this person, will affect the world, your children, your grandchildren, your own olam about But if you're in a challenge, if you're in a difficulty, I'll never forget this. Many years ago, not someone who's a member of the shul, somebody I knew in the Bay Area was going through this. I said, "Why don't you go to shul?" So the person said, "There's no point to daven. Like, I don't want to pray." And the biggest mistake. No, if you're having a challenge, that is the biggest reason to go to shul. It's the biggest knock on your door that you have what to daven for. To cry out to Hashem. Look, it's a strengthening, and it's a reminder that everything comes from Hashem. Haskarvas a love, and to become close to Hashem. And the truth is that the prayer is what allows us to get closer to Hashem. And not like people say, that prayer is only the emtsai l'tachlis. It's just a medium for a tachlis. It's just, I'll get married, or I'll get the job, or I'll have a child, or I'll get a new apartment, or I'll find the whatever, and then I'm done. I'm done with prayer. The prayer was just for the item. It's only to get rid of the challenge of the philosophic because it's from people. It could be, we know that in the beginning of creation, it says that all of the grass had not grown yet. Why? Because it didn't rain yet, even though it was created. It says that Rashi explains in that pasuk. This is Perek Beis pasuk Hey in Bereshis, that when the world was finished, when creation was finished on the sixth day, before Adam was in this world, everything was potential. It wasn't there yet. It says in day 3 with Totzei Haaretz. Totzei Haaretz, it was by the surface of the ground. But it did not rain. And why did it not rain? Ein Adam, there was no Adam to work the land. And Rashi says that when Adam saw there was a need, I have to work the land. I need rain. If there's no rain, I can't do my job. I can't get, nothing going to grow. He davened, and then it grew. He hechrochi l'spachtas habrio, aval kol oil lo haya adam sheyispal, as the man is not praying. V'yevakish makadosh baruch hu lemata mitoch hakar shu yisparach hamoshe b'kol v'hunais echidi. That man should recognize the whole creation stopped. And at Tefilla, it's an amazing thing, by the way. This is a reminder for all of us. There could be something even decreed in Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. If we do not daven, the Gemara says that prayer is the keys to the storehouse. If we do not pray, it is very shaykh that we will not get what we need in this world. There are people who, after 120 years, are going to go to Shamayim and say, God, I didn't have it. And I said, it was right there. It was right by the surface. All you had to do is pray. Now, there are times when the person prays for something and it does not happen. Those prayers will go to somewhere else. Every time a person's in a time, usually you say, whenever we have a challenge, whenever we have a difficulty, it is a knock on our door that it is time to daven. It is time to get close to Hashem. Hamunah Shlema. Why is that? Is if to know that everything comes from Hashem. Yamatara, Shebiglala Kadosh Baruch Hu, Niseva Mevla Ansaris V'Tzachar. You know why that challenge? It's to wake you up. All you have to do, by the way, is learn the book of Shoftim, Shmuel Aleph, Shmuel Beis, Malachim Malachim Beis. You'll see that it's over and over. The Jewish people, whenever they're slackers, to quote our beloved David Raka, whenever they're missing the boat, wherever they're forgetting, or they're coasting, they're on cruise control, right? They have a challenge and a difficulty. That challenge and difficulty is to wake them up. It's there to be praying. Zundel Salant, who is the Rabbi of Salanter, he says, it's just in the context. He wrote to his son. He had to go with his sister for. They needed to get some kind of operation. They didn't have the money. It was very challenging. They had to go ask for tzedakah. There's no insurance in the early 19th century. There's no insurance, and if you didn't have money to do a major surgery, you're stuck. So you have to go knocking on doors. So he said the following thing. It was Zundel Salantu, was this great, tremendous Torah scholar. He said, this is again a level, but it's an important level that we should realize. You have to know to trust Hashem with all of your heart. And don't just think, if I'm going to get the money, I'll be because of my success. And if you know that everything comes from Hashem, you won't do desperate acts. You won't do yoser hashtalish l'tachshav koichi v'yotzim miyadi. Why won't you act out of desperation? Because if you're going to push yourself, something that's beyond the norm, you would do it for prayer. If you're going to do it through your actions, it means you think it's up to you. Now, we're obligated to do whatever is necessary. There's an act of desperation. So he says, don't come on to doing that. You should realize your success will come from Hashem. If you do crazy things, now I've seen this, by the way. You know when I've seen this the most? It's very interesting. People who want to get married and they're having a hard time. That all of a sudden they start. Unfortunately, by the way, I met people who, when they dated Jews, these are not religious Jews people, and then they end up dating non-Jews because they're having a hard time getting married, or they're dating with a certain standard and then they lower their standard because they need to get married. Or there are people they're dating and they have certain things that are important, and they're dating a certain way, and then they go all crazy. Why would a person do that? Well, if you believe it's all up to me and nothing's working, so then instead of davening harder, the person will either compromise on their most important decision in life, whether they marry, or they'll compromise on their principles, or they'll do crazy things, all because they've lost focus. Sometimes when a person is desperate for money as well, they can end up doing things which are illicit. They can sell themselves in very improper ways. And so he said, of course you have to do proper ishtalis, but remember that everything comes from Hashem. And therefore, doing crazy acts is really, comes to say, and if you are successful, you'll think it's you. It is Kosher Kasa al Tiftechu ben Divan, Asher Shal Yaakov be'Ezro, Shchar al Hashem Elokim, Ekava al Hashem Shizam Lecha Mois. If you're going to go out and do parnasa, do your job and have faith in Hashem, and you'll get it in the right way. The tachs are tamid. And then Rabbi Zundel Mislan told his children the following thing. The tachs are tamid psuke hashkacha habitachon ve'yeshua. Always review psukim about hashkacha, bitachon, when hashkacha means God's divine providence, bitachon, trust in Yeshua, salvation, kmo kavel Hashem, chazik v'yametz libecha v'kavel Hashem. You should put your faith and your trust in Hashem and your hope in Hashem. And if it's challenging, if it's difficult, this pasuk, kavel Hashem, whenever, the Gemara says, if you daven and you're not answered, what should you do? You should daven more. You should daven harder. Where do we learn it from? The Gemara says this pasuk, kavel Hashem, don't give up hope. Hey, don't give up hope. We just mentioned the Emos. Do you know how many years Hannah didn't have a child before she had Shmuel? You know how many years Sarah didn't have a child before she had Yitzchak? Or Rivka before she had Yaakov? Hey, you have to be kavel Hashem. Don't ever give up. And if something gets more challenging and more difficult, all that means is Hashem needs more of your tefillas. Right? There's more tefillas. Now again, if you're not doing proper ishtalis, that also needs to affect. But if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and you haven't seen it, pray harder. Don't give up. Certainly in the world of spirituality, in the world of kedusha, in the world of holiness, the world of midos tovas. Right? It says, "Einei tamin al Hashem ki yoyitzi mereshes ragla." Also, it's just quoting Pesukah that you should get used to saying. You should inculcate it to yourself. Right? Bring it home to yourself. Or the pasuk, "Elokim lanu machsava." Hashem is our guardian, as our strength. Ezra b'tzaras nimsa me'oyda. Hashem helps us when we're in challenging times. I was driving. My daughter was here for 2 weeks. My chedva, and she had her major genealogy project for 12th grade. Really, she had dozens of pages of genealogy. And of course, I like genealogy. And I was driving to the airport yesterday. We were discussing some of the things she found out. And she says, it's amazing. Like when you look at some of these people, and I say, what's amazing is that you and I are here. And I'm not just talking about my four grandparents or Holocaust survivors. I had on my tree, my wife also, like my great grandfather, his mother died at birth. And she had, like, if you look at the tree, like all these people, that the other children, none of their descendants are here. But like, you imagine, like, with her death, there's so many things like that. Like, one person, my grandfather is a product of a second marriage, where my great-grandfathers got married to a woman 40 years younger than him. 40 years younger than him. 40 years. That's a long time. That's my great-grandfather, right? And my grandfather was born when my great-grandfather was 69 years old. Can you imagine? You imagine. So I was telling my daughter, I says, you don't realize, when you look at where we came from, the whole Jewish people, Mashiach comes from Boaz, who the last night of his life gave with Ruth has a baby. You know why? These people didn't give up. And you know what? You know what the koyach, what the strength is, even on the dark days, even on the challenging days. They didn't give up because they had bitachon. Right? The essence of Klal Yisrael is never to give up. And when we have a tzara, we have a challenge, we have a difficulty, it's just Hashem saying daven more. Not to give up. It's a terrible thing. You look at the world, you look at the world, people seldom sell themselves short. I would take you there to see it. On my door, and I'll have to take it with me, a poem that I put there when I first came here, it's called Don't Quit. Right? When things go hard, they say, it's a famous poem. If anyone wants, I can send them a copy of it. Why is that? Don't quit. Don't quit. And there are people who even quit in prayer. So Zim will say, no, don't quit. Put your faith in Hashem and put your tefillah. Remind yourself. Say these psukim over. You don't realize today what looks darkest can be the greatest moments. What the challenge is, you know why Boaz married his wife, because his wife had died. And that's how you get Mashiach. And you know why Ruth is in Israel? Why she meets Boaz? Because her husband dies, because they're poor. And all of the challenges, that's from the dark you have the greatest salvation. But you have to. We need to realize that Bitachon really means Hashem runs the world, and we're challenged. Then we need to do our part. Don't, as we said, if you're jealous, but realize that the main thing of the challenge, the main reason your boss may be giving you a hard time and you don't like your job anymore, you need to look for a new job, or you're having a personal family issue, the main thing is to pray to Hashem. The main thing is to pray to Hashem. The main thing is to connect to Hashem. Haderech lekniyas, and he says, well, that's what Telech levtov v'tushuas Hashem. You'll have Bitachon and you'll have Hashem. Keharef ayin. In a minute, things could change. Keharef ayin. Haderech lekniyas Bitachon says a Freelander. The way we learn Bitachon is to say Psukei Bitachon, whether it's Tehillim, whether it's Psukei Zimra, if we're saying it correctly, whether it's to say Psukim over the middle of the day to put up on your wall, or to have it next to you. We live in a physical world. We live in an olam hagashmi, olam hamaisa. We live in a world where we need to be doing and applying our knowledge. If you really want to be a Baal Bitachon, if you really want to be a person of Bitachon, it's not enough just to keep it inside and to think about it. You got to articulate it. Whether it's saying Be'ezus Hashem, or Emirza Hashem, or Baruch Hashem, or thanking Hashem, whether it's accepting when things are in Baruch Hashem, even when things are challenging and difficulty, that even though I may not understand it today, Baruch Hashem, there's going to be opportunities here. And Baruch Hashem may not even be that you'll see in this world, but it's a Baruch Hashem because we know that everything that Hashem gives us is for our benefit. And the more we live with that reality, not only the more happy we'll be matzliach in this world. And the greatest hatzlacha is to be close to Hashem. The essence of Yiddishkeit, the essence of Judaism is being close to Hashem. The mitzvahs are to connect us to Hashem. Tefillah is to connect us to Hashem. And the best way to acquire bitachon is right? To praying and talking to our Father in heaven in general, and Seder Zundel saying Psukei Bitachon. This class is going to be holding here now. We started this 10 plus weeks ago because of COVID. And I was thinking to myself today that I personally have benefited and needed this. And I mentioned in the beginning that that COVID is not just Hashem's divine providence for the world, and neither is these riots or anything else. So every one of us have our own knocking on the door. And, we're talking about just, our challenges as far as being sheltered in place, thinking seeing family for Pesach, the anxieties and the fears. But the amazing thing is, the more bitachon a person has, the more they realize that literally everything in life, we need to rely on Hashem. And it may be COVID or a tzara that wakes us up, but it wakes us up to the real reality we're always supposed to have. And that is, we need Hashem. And the more we have that feeling, the more we daven the way we're supposed to, the more we don't need these challenges. And the best challenges in life, and the way we should be challenging ourselves the most, is that we should be pushing ourselves to get closer to Hashem on our own. That we should learn more Gemara or daven better, or do more chesed, or have more acts of kindness, or bring Hashem more in our life. After 120 years, all of us, it's all going to be about what do we do in this world. And the way we'll be most matzliach, most successful in this world, is if we know that everything comes from Hashem and we daven wherever we are. The key of life is tefillah. The way we get there, and the way we don't ever give up, is really bitachon. And I know personally, and I believe this is for everyone on this call, everyone who's got anything from this class, which is not, I'm just a shliach myself, is that if we were on this class, we needed this class. And although this particular series is ending, the journey for all of us in life really continues. We go mechayel al chayel. We go from strength to strength. Mirza Hashem, we should go from COVID to Mashiach, nothing less. And even with Mashiach, we're going to be bitachon. So I just want to encourage everybody that don't stop. Don't stop. Continue. To study bitachon, to live bitachon, to realize that Hashem is always there for all of us, wherever we are and whatever we need. And when there's a day when things are a little dark, it just means you need to get to Hashem more. And a day it's great, it just means you have to thank Hashem more. That's all it means. And the more bitachon we have, the greater we be. As the Kehillas says, that the greatest of all midas is bitachon. So although I'm going to end this series now, I'm going to just encourage everybody, never stop in bitachon. I started actually learning bitachon seriously about 19, 20 years ago. I haven't stopped. And I can tell you on a personal level, I still have miles to go before I sleep, physically and spiritually. But the benefits, there's nothing like it. And it doesn't mean that you won't have bad days. I don't have bad days, but it means, it's a bad day when things are going wrong. You know the right address. You know the right doctor, the best healer, the best address for our prayers, for our thoughts. We're empowered never to give up, right? The person who has bitachon, we never give up in this world. And I was thinking at some door yesterday, we're not just all of us on this call are products of people who never give up. So that comes from our bitachon of Hashem. So I just want to thank everybody again. I thank Hashem for the opportunity to give this class. And actually, for this level, I thank Hashem for COVID for me personally, and for this class personally, because I think we all benefited from COVID. And for that, I say Baruch Hashem for that. And Be'ezus Hashem, we should say goodbye to COVID, and we should have the opportunity to be close to Hashem through our tefillas and through our prayers and through our bitachon, and our day in and day out and day of life. And then we should have bitachon to see the greatest salvation, to be Yerushalayim, from here with the base of English, rebuilt by English. Thank you very much, everybody. And who knows what's next? We'll take it by here, okay? Have a good night.